tell Daddy what we're making today?
I don't know.
You don't know? Do you remember? What's in your hair?
Hair clips!
Ah, we're going to make a fabric covered hair clip today, aren't we? The first step is to take your piece of fabric and the interfacing and iron the interfacing onto the fabric. So put your fabric right side down and lay your interfacing on top, but make sure you put the shiny glue side down the bottom facing the fabric. Now iron away so it's nice and flat, and stick the two pieces together. Iron the two pieces together. Once you've done that, the two pieces will be stuck together and the fabric nice and stiff.
I'm stuck.
Yeah. Create a template by tracing around the hair clip. To make it completely symmetrical, mark the halfway point on both sides. Fold your piece of paper in half. Get your pair of scissors and cut around the template that you drew, leaving approximately 3 millimeters around each of the sides. So your template should be slightly bigger than your hair clip, which leaves some room for the stitches that go around the hair clip. Okay, next grab your piece of fabric, fold it in half, pin your template that you just made onto the two folded layers of fabric, pin it in place and cut around. Now we've got two pieces of the fabric. At this point, now that you've got your two pieces of fabric, you can either choose to leave them plain on the clip, or if you'd like to embellish it with a button, now is the time to do it. So go ahead and sew the button . So there you have the button sewn on to your piece of fabric. Got two pieces of fabric, one's the front piece, one's the back piece. Take the back piece and center it behind your hair clip. What you need to do now is mark the fabric right in the center where this middle panel is. So if you can just gauge where that is, pop your needle in there to mark it, because what we need to do now is make a little snip right in that spot that the pin is marking. So to make sure that it's centered, just fold the piece of fabric nicely in half where that pin is. Make a tiny little snip. You don't want this cut to be too big. Just a very, very tiny one, as you can see there. Grab your hair clip turn it to the wrong side and feed this bottom part of your clip through that little hole that you've just cut. It might be pretty small, but you can just force it through like that. There you go. Now that you've inserted that bottom piece through your fabric, you've effectively now created the bottom layer of your hair clip. So what you do now is just take the other piece, lay it on top, sew around the edge to enclose the two pieces together. Now what I find helpful here to hold the pieces of fabric in place is firstly to snap the clip closed, get another little clip which you can use to hold it in place. Then we get our needle and thread and we sew all the way around. Get our needle and thread to sew around the edges. Finished fabric covered hair clip. If you'd like to make a feature out of your stitching, you could use a contrasting thread colour like I've got here, and you could change the stitching to a blanket stitch. So to do a blanket stitch, put your needle through, wrap the thread around before you pull it out,